Divine, divine rise, grand rise. Blessed be to the day. May it be everything you require to create everything you desire. But before you get into that aspect of the desire and make it the most malleable fashion, we know Thursday, through the day of 10, the most malleable of the metals, day of 10. Before we get into framework, and this is a very big aspect of framework that I thought about it that it happened. Before we get into this meditate and elevate, this rising message, I wanted to share a gym experience that happened actually today. I was at the gym. You know, I'm at the gym from 6 to about 8 o'clock, and then today was leg day. That's also what I wanted to point out. My recovery time is crazy. And it made me think about my framework. My recovery time is crazy because it made me think about my framework. It made me think about when you go into spaces, especially coming into the spaces now, when your framework matches the design of your highest self. Oh, look. I don't know why my phone... Oh, let's unplug this. I don't know why you want to act all weird now. When your framework matches your design, everything falls into place. One thing that I've learned just in the healing process and healing myself was, I now realize why a lot of the things that I wanted to happen or I had a longing for or a desire for to happen in my life and why they didn't happen. The more that I get close to understanding, the deeper that you get to understanding the depths of yourself, bringing yourself online, past lives, Akashic records, coming into these spaces, inner child healing, the more that you come into that space and you start working on these aspects of yourself, the more you start understanding the design of your environment. The more you start understanding why you seem to want to fight for this or you wanted to fight for love in this case, you wanted to fight for this aspect of life in this case, you start understanding your patterns. And one of the biggest patterns for myself was the constant wanting to hold on and wait. A lot of times for myself, I found myself wanting to slow down to wait for others to catch up to my ability of me being a manifested generator and my ability to be able to jump through and make moves and just be in that thought process and just go wild, go crazy with my approach with things. And I noticed that as I was doing this, I was putting on the filters onto others. So thoughts that I would have, this is very big for a lot of us, thoughts that you have, you'll think that other people have those thoughts simply because it's your thought. Remember, whatever you think becomes. So if you're inside of that space with yourself and you feel that what you're saying, what is it based on? Everything that you're going to create is based on what has your attention. Based on that inner child work. A lot of us are in a space where right now in this space right here, it ain't felt like a holiday season for me for like the last 4 years. About the last 4 years, it ain't felt like a holiday season. And it is there's nothing based on bad or it being good or whatever. But it's like I just don't feel that aspect of energy the way that I used to feel it. A lot of the things that I depended upon in that space, family-wise, friend-wise, relationships, all of these aspects that came into that play, a lot of those things no longer, I'm not in this dependency of them to get something and receiving. I'm more in a state of I'm building, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm surrendering to the process. I'm surrendering to my ability, grand awakening. I'm tapped into the aspects of surrendering to my works. So every day for me, where everybody puts this thought process of, oh, but it's New Year's, or it's Christmas, or it's this holiday, or it's a birthday. My mindset is every day for me is a day to celebrate because I'm learning. I'm celebrating the aspect of learning. That's what I'm here for. When you go through this healing process for a lot of us, I want you to think about it like this. I'm not saying don't have your celebrations, don't do whatever you're doing. But when you understand the energy, when you understand and you have the knowledge about certain things, you're going to automatically start moving different. You're going to start moving towards your natural frame, what you're supposed to be doing. You're going to move into that space of you naturally moving in the succession of what you're supposed to be doing. Like I told everybody on Christmas, I told everybody during Friday night's lecture, while everybody's going out stressing about buying gifts and buying presents and trying to keep people in their lives based on gifts or whatever so they can get something in return, I'm turning up, burning reversible candles and bringing all that energy into my space. Similar to just like New Year's coming up now, this feel like New Year's Eve. If I know that New Year's Eve doesn't start until a certain point in time anyway in reality, then instead of me sitting there using on judgment, niggas walking around still asleep and they acting like New Year's, this ain't New Year's. Instead of me sitting here complaining, how about I set up my altars, I set up my intentions, I set up my spells to all of this energy is about to be released, and I redirect it to me. I redirect it into shit that I need to do. While they're releasing it, how about I learn the aspects and learn how to manipulate and bring that energy to me? That's fun. That's you. This is you putting in your work. This is you looking at the aspect of becoming more self-aware. Because a lot of us, when you really look at it, you know things as you're getting deep into the aspects of yourself. As I get deep into the aspects of myself, there's either the reason to or the reason not to. There's the reason to or the reason not to. It's just certain things don't get to me or excite me or get me worked up or make me act a certain way anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not a part of my framework. Now that I'm building this new tapestry, this new temple, now that I'm building this new temple of myself, there's certain things that don't get to me, and that's what leads me into this story about when I was at the gym. Insecurity is one of the ugliest aspects in time. Insecurity is just ugly in itself. It's even uglier when you're trying so hard to show that you're not doing it. So I'm at the gym. Today. Today was leg day. My recovery's crazy, so me sitting in this position doesn't even hurt anymore as much. But my legs are damn near dead. I'm sitting at the gym. I'm doing my leg workout. I'm doing the leg press. I'm doing the leg curl. So I'm doing my workout. This queen come by and she's standing there, but she looked like the way that she looked at me and then she looked away from me. Like, oh my God, I can't be looking at people. I picked that up off top. I picked it off top. I was like, she's looking away or out of the space because something's stopping her. Something has her trained not to look or look at anything else. So naturally, I slow down I stop my set. She walks by, not paying attention, so she almost runs into the machine. You know what I'm saying? And then here comes behind her this black guy. I guess it's her husband, boyfriend, whatever the hell it is. Don't care. He walks up behind her. He walking up behind her, and he's like pushing her with his body to move into a certain space. Like, I'm going back to my workout. My workout time for me, I'm listening. I'm today at this point in time, I'm listening to Kevin Gates. So I'm in that zone when I'm doing my press, doing my workout. And in this position, in this part of the gym, if you've been to Planet Fitness, every Planet Fitness is usually set up the same. In this Planet Fitness, like, you know, like all the machines for each body part are all set up in a certain way. Sitting there doing my leg presses, and like I can just feel this energy looking at me or trying to attach to me emotionally. I can literally feel the energy of insecurity trying to make its way into me. I can feel the energy of insecurity trying to work its way into my framework. I can feel it. I'm like, the fuck is this trying to get on me? So then I'm done with my leg workout over here in this area. I go into the next area, into the stretching space, and I'm going in there doing my calf raises, doing my hip inflections, doing my throwing my kettlebell, doing my normal workout. Shorty now comes from over there where she was doing her workout over there, and now she comes over here into this space over here to do her workout. She's like working out in the machine right next to me. I'm sitting there focused. I'm thinking about what I'm about to, thinking about the God thought, thinking about what I got planned for the day, building my day as I'm breaking my body down, putting my legs into the coffin. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, cool, doing my workout. I get done with this machine. I'm getting up, I'm drinking my water, and it goes from 0 to 60 like super fast. Now, instead of like she's doing her workout, like I'm just feeling this presence behind me, and all of a sudden now it's like, now they're getting, like they only were there for like 15 minutes because like I just had that sense of time. Like from when they walked in, that timer started like, okay, cool, looking at processes, being more self-aware of my environment. And then they leaving. I'm like, oh. I was like, he felt some type of way because his shorty was sitting over here. I'm once again, not paying attention, not looking at it. I'm like, all right, that's how y'all feel? Exactly. You can't hide nothing from a manager. I'm like, oh, that's how y'all feel? Cool, whatever. This was the second day that this happened because, and I thought about it, I was like, damn, it's the second day that this happened in an aspect of a row. The day before, like my Wednesdays are my core days, so my core, my abs, that's all I'm working on, and I'm working on core and lower back. So I'm using one of the machines. This shorty's in front of me. They were both short. Like they were like at least both like 5'5". They were both short. But like I saw her do earlier. And mind you, when I go to the gym, sweatshirt, I got on my sweatshirt, I got my tights on under my sweatpants. Like I'm in there to sweat and to detox and to cleanse my body out. But like you can see, like now that I'm getting more and more deep into my workouts, the way that my physical features are now in this space, I might actually starting to see it through my workout attire. That's all a part of the progress. That same story of it happened. Except they were sitting there, I got headphones on, but they were arguing, they were like whispering, arguing, and I could hear it because I could just hear the energy coming off. And then I remember like they left, but then she came back with her, because her homegirls were there or whatever, but the same thought process. I lost the whole train of thought while I was saying that part of the story. Oh yeah, I was just doing it based on a release. Sometimes you just got to release it out to the ethers, not hold on to it, be able to measure it. That becomes the key of you looking at your framework. You getting into the aspects of yourself, this is you looking and learning from everything. I looked and learned from that. I was like, niggas are really like that still. people are really like that still. So then when you start looking at this, people are always going to be the way that they are until they become aware and take accountability for themselves. I didn't look at, this is the thing. I didn't look. When I'm in the gym, I'm not paying attention to nothing. Like, when I'm in the gym, it's like from the bike, mantras, meditation music, Kundalini binaural beats, whatever. And then when I'm working out, I got a whole different set of playlists that I'm listening to. Like, I'm not paying attention to anybody. But I am noticing more and more that it's like, now that I'm inside the space and I'm able to read energy more, I'm able to look at auras, read energy, see people more in that aspect, not based on the physical, but I'm looking at it based on the energy basis. It's like the thoughts that I can hear now inside of a space, the way I'm able to navigate within a space, the way I'm able to use certain energy inside certain spaces, that shit has changed within my very framework. That's what it feels like to me. It's like, now that I'm in this new space of myself, it's like I'm noticing things differently. It's like there's things that you sitting there and it's like you used to pay no never mind to. And that was one of the things that was always about me, is like I'm aware of it, but I don't care about it. I've always had the nonchalant, don't care I've always had that nonchalant, don't care attitude and mindset. I've always had that mindset. So it's like, now that I've tuned it, it's like it's like if something's happening, or there is like, you have to do something more that I can't explain. When you're looking into your inner framework of yourself, you're getting into yourself, you're getting more in tune to yourself. The things that you require, the things that you desire to be attracted to, that are naturally coming to you in that space to you, you're not going to be able to explain it. You're not going to be able to give it a detailed account of what it is. Because you're no longer looking at things based upon the result. If I was I take this thought process, if I literally was sitting here and I was doing my workouts and doing my meditations and doing my shit for a physical reason, doing it for a physical mundane reason, just to be I meditate every day, I go to the gym every day, just to be able to say these things, then I would be stuck within the aspect of projecting my impression. Most of us get stuck in this aspect of never taking accountability for why we're really doing things, because we're stuck within the projection based on impression. You don't have to do anything, especially around me being the magi that I am, the shaman, being the energy wielder that I am. You don't have to do anything extra around me for me to notice you, because I'm noticing everything anyway. So when I'm looking at these certain aspects, when you look at these certain aspects in your reality, that's a reflection of what it looks like not to be able to do it. So this is what made me think about Friday, tomorrow, we getting into the Emancipation Proclamation, or to be set free and to proclaim your sovereignty. That's what we're getting into this Friday. When I'm free. I'm free. I'm doing that internal work. I'm steady doing that internal work. I teach that internal work. I do the therapy on that internal work of the reflection of what it was already, the depths that are inside of myself. So I don't need to put myself in any position. It naturally happens. The organic flow. You're in the space that you need to be in. You're doing the things that you need to be doing. A lot of us, when it comes to this aspect of being self-aware, we think about it from this level of what we call from judgment. So we're to be self-aware is to self-aware for some people is to repress. Naturally in this mindset, to be self-aware is to repress. So I'm aware that I'm a little bit over emotional. I can be aware that I go through bouts I'm battling depression. I'm aware that I'm going through certain aspects of my life, but I'm going to repress it in order to get something or to be able to put myself into this space. You start noticing this when you become overgiving. You become overprotective. You become over emotional. You're constantly putting yourself in positions when you're trying to build. You spend all of this time trying to build things outside of you that when you get it to a certain space, this is one of those key factors. I remember watching, if you've never seen the movie Two Can Play at That Game with Vivica Fox or whatever, and they were like, I remember it was like a string of movies in like the late 90s, early 2000s that were always focused around you can't get with a man because you build them up, they're going to leave you. You're going to put your all into them and they're going to leave you. You can't put your all into a chick because they're going to leave you. After they get up there, here comes the reality to the other end of that. What the fuck you think is supposed to be happening in a relationship when you learn it from anyway? Let's make the reality of it. If you spin, this is the reality of what actually happens. If I'm inside of a space and I put all of my energy into this space to help it evolve, to help it grow, to help it flourish, but I set no intentions or parameters for myself and me working on myself, I'm not focused on myself, I'm focused on being selfless, then what do you think is going to happen? It's naturally going to happen because you've upgraded that space. This is what happens for a lot of us, and a lot of you are going into that space, this new year, new me shit, and you're saying to yourself, I'm cutting off people. I have to cut people off every month and every year because I'm undisciplined in my love. I'm undisciplined with the love of myself. So now you keep trying to put yourself in the spaces and keep putting this framework of what you're learning and what you're getting. You're putting it on frames that no longer fit that. You're trying to fill up these spaces that no longer fit that. So then you'll be sitting there. It doesn't matter how good your body, no matter how good you scope your body or how much you get your money in order or any of these things in order, because it's always, as I'm always saying, it always leads back to your shadow work, the internal work that you haven't been doing. For some of us, we've been doing our work, and this is the greatest year ever. Every year is the greatest year ever. Every cycle is going to be the greatest cycle ever. Because your whole thought process is like, ooh, I learned this, this, and this. Yeah, it got a little bit heavy over here, but it was a great release. Because you're changing your framework. You want to be sovereign, you want to be free? I'm free. I'm free. I'm free mentally. I'm free in the aspects of my spirituality. I'm free in my emotions. Everything's within the aspect of that balance. So whatever comes up into my space that challenges that, I'm self-aware and I can now apply what I've learned. That's going to be your key. As you're becoming more self-aware with yourself and you keep going into these aspects of yourself, that's the degree that you're searching for. You're looking for more information. But you got to first remove, as I'm always saying, remove those filters first. You got to remove those aspects of the biases of something as simple as niggas ain't shit or that agenda that you programmed in your mind. You're going into the world thinking that niggas ain't shit. You're going into the world thinking that bitches ain't shit. You're going into the world thinking white people ain't shit. You're going into the world thinking that this, and that, your family ain't shit. All of these aspects. You're going into the world doing all of these aspects over and over and over again. And then your memories, those traumas, those events naturally give you the projection to keep you within that space. So now you're comfortable. Remember, we're going outside of the good and bad and the happy and sad and we're going outside of the generic or the mundane aspect of the version of yourself, and you're going into the aspect of like, damn, you being honest with yourself, damn, I am comfortable. Because I talk about it every single day that I hate niggas and I hate this and I hate this and I hate that. I talk about them every day. But in reality, if I'm able to talk about it every day, that must mean there's something that I'm comfortable about with it. This is you understanding your framework. There should be no reason for you to be sitting here at no point in time, sitting here talking about, I hate this and I hate that and I hate this. Why? Ask yourself the question, why? Why does that trigger you? What is that trigger that is being triggered within you to have that emotional impulse? Indulge. On the other end, you must now indulge in learning that aspect. Learn why you're detached. Learn your codependencies. I'm tired of codependent ass niggas and I'm tired of these codependent assholes and these codependent ass bitches. Bruh, sis, queen, king, God. The only reason that they keep showing up in your fucking life is because that's an aspect that's within you already. It's something inside of you that is triggering that you have to find out. Understand your framework. You fighting against your own, you may very well be fighting against your own design, your human design. You're wondering why you keep getting projections or augmented projections, and then you keep generating based on them projections. Your human design may be a projector. That's why you keep getting the projections of everything that you're generating based on your memory and the stuff that you ain't dealt with. You're wondering why you always feeling drained, and you never seem to be able to reflect anything positive in your life, but you keep trying to generate and bring things into your life and make this projection that you're better than you are, but you're wondering why your reflections never match it. Maybe your design is a reflective. Learn yourself. It's more than just, oh, my lineage came from here, and we came from Kemet, and we came from this, and we came from that, and it cost $340 or $3,000 for me to sit here and go get this paperwork to say that I'm free. It's deeper than that. Everything that you're going to do is going to lead you back to your shadow work. Everything that you're going to do is going to lead you back to that darkness. You got one or two choices. Either you can stand at the door. You can stand at the door because that door is set for you. You can stand at the door and just look in there and wonder. Or you can go into that room and unpack the boxes. When I go into my darkness, ain't nothing but tools and shit. I ain't got nothing but tools and new toys to play with. Looking like the fucking Batcave in the Batcave in one of my shadow realms. Looking like the Batcave in that bitch. Understand your framework of how you're building yourself. We've been going out throughout this entire week talking about the aspects of the old proximity gauges ain't going to work anymore for yourself. We've been going through the aspects of that Bondo Convo that I got into yesterday. We were talking about that Bondo Convo, like you having conversations that are cosmetically appealing, but it ain't doing no internal aspect of the work. And now we into the aspect of that framework. And that's going to lead into tomorrow night, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gotico Alchemist's YouTube channel. The link will be up soon in the full description. Emancipation Proclamation. You're now going from transferring your ownership of your transferring the aspects of yourself onto other people so you can feel released or free. It's time for you to understand that in order for you to be free, in order for you to proclaim your sovereignty, you're gonna have to build that new foundation. You're gonna have to become self-sufficient. You're gonna have to learn how to discipline your love to yourself. As I said the other day, this is gonna be the year that you're gonna have that number one relationship. Go look in the mirror. This is going to be the year you're going to get that dream job that's going to help you make all your dreams come true. It's called shadow work. There's no more excuses for you not to be doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. This has been the greatest year ever for me in the aspects of everything that's coming into my space. I feel different. I move different. Everything's different and everything's reinforced to my new framework. That's going to be your key, your new framework. Building yourself, bringing yourself into that higher aspects of yourself. There is no more of this excuse to where you can go hide into something because the shadows is too dense. The astral world, the the physical and the visible. That one scene, the one scene on Transformers when they brought Cybertron into the Earth's atmosphere. That shit are that's what's happened. That's what's happened. That's the best way I can use to explain it. That's what's happened. Now you sitting there like, oh shit, nigga, that's what's happened. So everything that you tried to hide from, you can't hide from it. It's like you sitting there. It's like when you see you look at the dog videos and the kid or the dog, they messing up a whole space in the house, and then they're sitting there trying to act like they didn't do it. That's what y'all doing with y'all inner child. Y'all are acting through your inner child, speaking through your inner child, moving through your inner child, trying to make you're trying to hold your inner child into a space so you can proclaim that you're free, but you don't have to create. You ain't creating what you think is being in freedom. You're still codependent upon something. I want you to be the fucking best. I want you to groom and grow yourself into becoming the best. I want you to rise into you becoming your best self. That's what I desire. That's my purpose. That's why I'm going to simplify it, bring it down, and it's gonna hurt your feelings. If you want one of the people that make you feel good about yourself and make you feel good in the ego sense, I'm not going to be the one that you're gonna come to. But if you want somebody that is going to help you tear back them layers, and that if you need that help in tearing back those layers and really putting that shit together, that's my purpose. That's what I do. I've done this. I'm doing that work in a constant basis for myself. That's what I do. So when I say I want you to be the best, there's no ulterior motive. When I say I want you to invest into you becoming the greatest aspects of yourself, there's no motive. There's no catch. Because I want you to exceed where I'm at so I can learn from you. That's the repayment process. But of course you make that initial investment in that space, but then you're going to grow. And I had a client hit me up yesterday and they were like, I never know how I'm going to repay you. I said, as you heal, I heal. Your repayment to me is you using your wisdom and cultivating yourself and growing. That's the repayment. You never have to think about the repaying me because I'm already paid in full. I'm good. But that initial investment should be needed. Gotta call alchemistllc.com for everything from readings, setting up consultations, spiritual babs, spiritual invoking products. You can inbox me. If we can get you set up. I just want you to be the best. I don't want y'all to walk around looking like the insecure person at the gym or the insecure person at the gas station or the insecure person or feeling inadequate. Every time those triggers come up, inadequacy, insecurity, jealousy, it's exposing a codependency. Every time those things pop up every time those triggers are activated, it's showing you something deeper. Let's get you into that depth. I want you to be the fucking best. Yeah. Now, if you excuse me, I got some sound therapy I'm gonna do to my legs. Cause my legs being in this position, it feels good to stretch like this, but my legs, they starting to tighten up. Got some sound therapy to do on myself. I want you to be the fucking best. I'll see y'all on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gotta Call Alchemist YouTube channel. I love you. We love us. Ashe.